Welcome everyone to the Island Life podcast, where we journey onto the island of discovery to relive some of the best and worst moments of Survivor. My name is Will, an experienced Survivor fan, 48 seasons deep, and I will be your guide. And joining us on this special two-person adventure is our rising Survivor fan with 12 seasons under her belt, and
Hello, we are back.
Yes. So a little bit downsized from the last couple episodes, which we've had a crowded group. But there is a reason.
Yeah, it was a party.
Because this set of two episodes featured Toddlers First and Angie's First
Mm-hmm.
flashback type episode. I actually don't know if this has a name of this type, but this is like not scenes from the last episode, but scenes from the last all episodes.
Yeah, this is new for me because I do not recall ever watching that before, so it's definitely my first. When I heard it, I actually thought it was like a full recap of like what happened in the past several episodes. But then when I found out there are like never seen before scenes, I'm like, all right, now I'm intrigued. Now I need to know more backstory. Even though in a way they can't really affect the current gameplay anymore as some of the people have gone, I still thought it would be cool to see it.
And it did function as a season recap. They did spend a lot of time telling you what has happened. Yes. But you're right, there were a lot of new scenes. We would call these today secret scenes. Although in
Secret
present day,
scenes.
they're
I
not
like it.
really given to us. I have to check, maybe this season finally there were some, but like for forever there were just no secret scenes, which is odd because they used to have them. And not only that, they would also have scenes from Ponderosa too, so you would get to see it 'cause it didn't matter in the game
Oh,
anymore, but you would see the reaction of the people who'd been voted out, at least the ones voted out after the merge,
I would
reaction
love
to them.
that. I would
It was
love a
great.
Ponderosa moment, like a full-on sideshow about Ponderosa, because I want to, because I think it's a big deal, like, what the jury's thinking, what the jury's talking about, I think affects in the final voting, so I think that would be crazy good show.
I wonder if it's too dangerous to show in real time, as in, like, in as each episode comes out, because it is supposed to be a surprise as to what the jury's thinking. So
Or
there is a
maybe, like,
consequence for
between
telling us.
seasons, like, after this season. After, this season, they give it a couple months of break and then added in another one, in between the Survivor drought, or added on online, like, I think that would be really cool. I mean, I feel like a lot of people would love seeing Ponderosa.
And they have. I mean, it has never been like a whole like a sitcom on Ponderosa. That hasn't happened. But
Mm,
when they had scenes from Ponderosa and secret scenes in general, I mean, people loved it. I loved it. What I did not love
yeah.
is when I was a kid watching, and when you're watching back then, it's you get your one shot to watch it, or eventually there's like TiVo and DVR. But the point is, one episode airs a week, and when that one episode is the recap episode, it's just so annoying. 'Cause you're not gonna get any newer for the story isn't continuing.
Yeah, that's true, because you're, like, looking forward to the next episode or what's gonna happen, and then you're like, "Wait, you're just gonna show me everything recapped again? Darn." But, as a kid, you know how, like, back in the day, when you go and watch movies on DVDs, there's a little flickering in the beginning where you're like, you play the movie, you look through the scenes, and there's a spot where it's, like, deleted scenes. I used to eat that up. I love that part. I love deleted scenes. I'm such a sucker for it, and I also love the director or producer, like, doing their commentating cut.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's
Mhm.
so cool too. So I feel like it would be cool if they did that with Jeff, But I guess, like, the podcast that they have kinda works out for it, but, I thought in some Korean variety shows they have, like, the show's already been edited, everything's done, but then they have, like, a panel of, like, 4 hosts that are watching it, so you're kinda watching them watch it and react to it, but also you're watching the show yourself, and it's pretty cool because 'cause they're also, like, as shocked as you are for certain things, but I thought that would be cool, although I don't know in this case who would be the one reacting,
Yeah,
but
'cause I guess,
still.
like, Jeff does know a lot. Like, he doesn't know everything until his the other like, the camera people get back to him, show him like the stuff they got. At least not until he gets back maybe to like home base and maybe there's like a live. I actually don't know if they're like streaming what they're recording or they'll just watch it afterwards.
Mm.
Like as they're holding up the cameras. I don't know that. Yeah, you're right. The Jeff Probst podcast does do a pretty good job. I mean, it's pretty new and it's I imagine what they're eventually gonna do, they're definitely gonna do the like they're talking whoever joins Jeff on the podcast will be watching an episode. So like the podcast length will be 50 minutes and 40 of it the episode's playing. But you the listener, like you're not hearing the episode, but you're encouraged to turn it on your end and then you can hear them do a in real time director's commentary. Or this
Mhm.
would be like producer's commentary, I guess.
Yeah,
Um
yeah, that'd be cool. I
that's a
would
nat
like that.
I'm sure they'll do that. That's a natural thing I think to do.
Or you have Jeff do all the challenges he makes other people do. Like, it's like, "Here I
Mm.
am, like, last episode, we had blah, 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 do this and this, and they were really struggling, and then, look, watch me do it," and, like, time him. But he does all of it himself. And then if it's, like, required for other people, like, usually it is team effort, they'll get the little minions to come out to work with him, you know?
Honestly, just watching what the dream team does, like the people that test out all the challenges, that would be great too. Good content.
Yeah,
Put it
that would be
put it
really
on
good.
like Paramount Plus Plus, like add a subscription tier, and if you pay the
Oh,
extra,
no,
then you get
Will,
that.
that's evil.
Oh wow.
No, just add it for the Paramount Plus people. Why are you adding a plus plus? That's evil. That is evil.
Say you give them the push to actually do this.
Ah, it's not what capitalism it's not what we can do for capitalism. It's what capitalism can do for us. And they could add in some good shows for us.
Well, I I enjoy it because I don't even know if I had even seen this episode, who knows? Because it was like often like I'd be disappointed and not even watch the episode when these recap episodes came. So this is pretty new to me. There were some nuggets. I think ultimately, like, if we encounter this again, I'm probably not gonna watch it. Uh, but we'll see. It depends when the next time we encounter one of these types of episodes. What
Yeah, I feel like
was
they
something
won't do it.
interesting
Ooh.
that you saw from it?
There is a lot of good stuff, and I again, you mentioned it, but I love the part that they just say it's a, you know, a special scene, like, never seen before, a new scene. I'm like, "Oh, that's good," because I could definitely see myself watching it and be like, "Oh, I think I saw that," even though it's never been seen. It put up the first scene, it was starting out strong with Sekou with the boat, and the boat just tips over, and everyone's trying to pull Sekou, like, boat upright, but it's not working, so he had to leave the boat, get off the boat, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, at this time, you just gotta just give up on the boat. No more boats, like, this boat's over." I'm like, "Oh, now I could understand." I think in a bigger remark of like, "Okay, Sekou really didn't do a whole lot, and he toppled the boat, so dang." That's rough.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of these scenes like just add just a cherry on top of why someone made a decision. Like some of them like added that little extra. It even looked like to me it looked like they broke part of the boat. I mean, clearly they were able to sail to where they needed to go or paddle to it, so it's not like permanently broken. But uh,
Yeah, it's just add on to the fact that Sekou was not like a at th those scenes at least, he was not very pivotal to the group, it looks like.
no, no, and particularly he's like presenting himself and speaking like a leader of the tribe for all these like big strenuous activities, and then for him to not be effective in them. Uh,
Unfortunately, giving
so
Billy.
yes, yes.
'Cause Billy's like, we're gonna make a bathroom, we're gonna do this." And then they're like, "Oh, do you wanna show us?" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna tell you guys, and then we can all do it." The girls don't even listen though. The girls got we got and it's like, "Mm, do you, Billy? Do you?" So it was cool to see those type of scenes because I don't think Sekou or Billy was difficult to understand why they were out, but I think, to add on more context makes it more understandable. What surprised me is when, Candice and Adam abandoned their boat to, like, float back as they're, like, about to, like, I don't know, a brink of death of hypothermia and how cold it was, And Parvati is like, "Oh, did our boat tip over?" They're like, "No," and then it's just the boat's just floating away with time, and they are not gonna be able to, like, fish or anything, and then it's like they never showed that, which is a big deal because when you take away food or take away their sources of food or whatever, it's a big deal, but I guess it's not that big of a deal because it didn't affect them in future votes or getting cut out, so I guess it didn't make the cut,
No,
but that's just crazy.
that's probably a product of they didn't lose, like, in the beginning, so it never gets to that, but these type of things are definitely the stuff that gets like, if they had lost at first, it's like, "Oh, the the 2 lovers are, like, going on romantic, trips. Meanwhile, they're losing our boat, losing our food, and then people would probably vote one of them out."
That was crazy, but the fact that they didn't have any, like, scenes of them being like, "What the heck?" I mean, like, they like, when Flicka lost the chickens, it was a big deal. It was a full chase scene. I guess it's funny because 'cause they're chasing chickens, but still, the fact that them losing a boat and just floating back was just completely just cut off. It was not made for the cut. Nobody reacted to it. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it really makes you think, like, how strong, like, editing is in this type of show.
Yeah, I wonder if there's those that believe they can interpret the editing decisions and therefore know what's gonna happen. So,
Mhm.
perhaps, I mean, you could think about what we watch, perhaps you can correlate what scenes here they didn't air and what that suggests we're in store for then for those people. Now, I will warn you, the people that believe they can do this often end up looking like fools
Yeah,
in
I
the
feel
end.
like that could happen for sure. I feel like that like, especially the current seasons, people talk about the edit all the time. It's like I like the quote unquote, like, "winner edit," right?
Uh-huh.
And I wonder how accurate people are when they talk about these things. Like, not accurate in terms of later on. I mean, like, accurate in terms of, like, the beginning. I feel like people are like, there's seeds being planted, and you will know within the next, like, 5 episodes of, like, "Yeah, this person's most likely to be top 3," not like the full winner, but top 3. So, I think that's impressive to be able to deduce that from edits. Um yeah, I don't think it's that impressive knowing it, like, when there's, like, 3 more episodes left and they're like, "This person's gonna win at the edits," I'm like, "Nah, I guess," but come on. It's not as impressive as if you, like, told me the edits was what getting that person to win in the beginning or, like, the middle of the game. But, yeah, it was really cool to see it, like, the cut scene of them. Kinda scary too. They were, like, just full up floating back, like, what if you can't float back that way? Like, what if the waves are so strong you ain't going back? That's scary. I'm thinking about
Oh.
the poor camera
Mm.
guy. He's probably like, "Wait, what? Abandoned boat? What?"
Yeah, sure. It's like, are they in their own boat or they were along for the ride or are they just swimming the whole time?
Yeah, I no
Because
idea.
because now you could just send in the drones. You don't gotta worry about that.
Yeah,
But
now you
you
but there was an actual dude holding it, and I just imagine all these, like, camera people that have to run with them while they do certain things or, like, go to the water with them, being in the water, like, I would it would be really cool to see more of a behind the scenes, like, how is it planned, how many production like, the production team, that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, I imagine we'll probably get that one of these days. The thing is for most of any show like this is time. You wanna avoid that as much as possible. You're trying to create, like, you're trying to not break the fourth wall, get all your viewers immersed in this survival adventure. So, no, like, seeing cameramen and women in shots is gonna take away from that feeling, and having a whole special on TV where you see everything behind the scenes, I think would also hurt that.
I see what you're saying.
But in
Yeah,
the,
I
like, very
yeah.
recent times, Jeff has been more willing to break the fourth wall.
I think it's cooler to break the fourth wall because there are now so many fans, like, there are fans that know how Survivor is, so it's, like, cool to have fans take a look at it, I think back at that time, I get what you're saying of wanting it to be like Survivor, this is a show about, like, this many people, this much going on, $1,000,000, are you gonna get it? Like, are you gonna win? But, right now with fans and people liking it, I think it's cool to have that added in. Makes sense for Jeff to kinda soften up a little bit and be like, "Alright,
But
guys,
what
come
about the
in."
kids? The
The
kids.
they're fine. No, I'm
Totally fine.
kidding. Oh my gosh, yeah. Another scene, we talked about was when they won the challenge of having alcohol,
Yeah.
and, they're just taking it from the bottle, drinking it up, and, we got Stephanie who's just, like, took, like a long gulps down, and off she goes. Poor girl, she was gone, and I love that for her. But for me personally, if I'm playing this game, there will be no alcohol in me. Like, I will not be drinking, but I won't like, I would act like I'm drinking. Like, if they gave me a bottle, I'm gonna tilt that bottle down, but, like, do not drink it at all, and then give it to the other person. Like, I'm gonna act like I'm a little tipsy, but not, like, fully drunk, but I need to be a part of the crew, you know? Like, if everyone's drinking, I don't be like, "No, I'm okay. I don't wanna drink." Then they're gonna be like, "Angela's so uptight. Like, we should kick her out." Or, "What a party pooper. We should take her out." You know, I don't need people to think of new reasons. I'm gonna join in the club. What do you think, Will? What would you do?
That's a very savvy idea. I mean, I think it would there's less risk nowadays for sure of that negatively impacting you. Um, but my motto is always like do what everyone else is doing. Um, your major risk with that is were you to be found out, you look like very you look very suspicious and weird. Like, why would like she go to this trouble to lie to us? What's she planning? What's she plotting?
That's true.
For so and then they would say, like, for something so, like, it's, like, little. Meanwhile, you're right, there are some people who it would mean a lot to them, and they'd be like, "Oh, trying to bring down the mood." The important part is not to do something crazy of, like, "No, guys, like, none of us should drink." Like, that would be bad.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah. Or, like, be judgmental, like, "Oh, I can't believe you guys are drinking during this time. We should be talking strategy."
yes, yeah, so that's gonna be bad. You definitely don't wanna do that. Um, no, but I like in general, like, if, like especially if now this would be pushing your luck a little bit, but if your plan is to take advantage that everyone else is impaired, whereas you are not, you may be able to get information that you otherwise would be hidden from you. Uh,
That's true.
again, that the risk is like someone realizes what you're doing and you look very sneaky, taking
That's
advantage of
true.
people.
Yeah, yeah, that is a sticky situation in that's for sure. Especially with alcohol involved, you do not wanna play around with that, for sure. But I think, like I feel like a lot of times with the, reward challenges when they do win, get the alcohol, the foods are flowing, those that cannot control it tend to yap a lot more and show off a lot more stuff, and it's always, like, interesting to see.
I guess presumably, like you just like if you know your own limits and tolerance, you would just drink up to that. So like assuming you're correct in your self assessment, you would just go to that point and then stop. So if someone like legitimately is like confident. Like, they were having wine, like, "Yeah, I could have, like, 3 cups of wine, and that's my limit before I start not being a useful member of society," then that's probably fine to, go to that.
Yeah, the scary part is that a lot of people, when they drink, they're drinking with full stomachs, but as they talk about here, they're not having a full stomach. You don't I mean, unless you got Ozzy in your team, I don't know how much you're eating on a daily basis, but definitely not enough, in Survivor. So, I would be so worried about drinking at all, period.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
But,
understand.
Stephanie took it chill, though. Stephanie was just more like, she's tired, she's tipsy. She wasn't like, "Oh my gosh, I hated it, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna take this person out, blah, 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 blah." That would be crazy. That would be great TV, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure. Did were you happy that after your weeks of complaints, this episode allowed you to see what was going on Exile Island?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, and it was at that moment because I know, guys, I'm a little slow on this, but I finally figured out that from Will and watching this is that, once somebody takes an idol from Exile Island, there's no more other idols. I've been thinking this entire time that every time someone's in Exile Island, there's always a chance to get an idol. I was not aware there's only one and you already had it. So, that changes the perspective of me being I'm less of a Exile Island hater, but I still don't like it. And I'm glad to see the footage. It's pretty cool. I get why they cut it because at the end of the day, nothing really happens besides like although I want to see when Adam was in it, like him like suffering. I don't know, but that sounds terrible. Sorry.
Because Adam's on
Yeah.
Exile Island, this big like thunderstorm comes.
Yes, and he was like, "Ah, being pelted and with pain." I'm like, "I need to see this. I need to see what was going on." Because I'm assuming they don't build a fire? Or maybe they do? Or they
Well,
have to do it
it's up to
themselves?
it's up to them, right? If they feel they can
Yeah.
make a fire without flints, then go
Yeah,
for it.
that's hard. That's really hard. And you got to see, like, when Yule, like, kinda hid away the clue and threw it out. I think that was very smart of him. Saw Candace drawing out, like, the borders of the sand. Like, I love how everyone has their own thing, in regards to, what their plan is, on where to find the idol. But it's also interesting to see, like, that there is none anymore, and that's it. Like, there's no point to this.
That's why I
So,
said
I
last
don't
week
know.
that basically Yule ruined Exile Island. He found it so
Yeah,
quickly that now it's not compelling TV even if they did show you because you know there's nothing to find.
yeah. I think it's fun to see them digging for nothing, though. But is it usually uncommon for people to find it so soon in Exile Island? Do people get more clues with time, or they get the same clue every time?
Well, the way they explained in the first 2 episodes, and then never again because they didn't need to, is every additional time someone goes to Exile Island, another clue is there in addition to the previous clues.
Oh, mhm.
So if you've never been there, but you're like the 4th person, someone like Adam, um, like he's seeing like all the previous clues and like a new clue.
Mm,
So
mm.
you would think it's more and more likely somebody's gonna find it the more time anyone goes
That makes sense.
to Exile Island.
That makes sense, that makes sense. But it's also like, I could gaslight myself to being like, I mean, there's so much sand. I could just miss it by like 3 centimeters and be wrong and can't find it. So it's gotta be there. Like no one's if I can't find it, I don't think someone else can find it. Yada yada yada. So yeah, very, very intriguing. Exile Island is so like I just I just don't love it. I just love the fact that people need to find an idol in their own place and have to hide away and be scared and be worried if someone else is looking for it or sees them watching and be suspicious. I think that just adds such an element that I am missing right now.
Is there a like an element from or I guess what's the biggest thing from present day then that you feel is missing from the is it if anything?
If there's anything missing in present day or from present day?
From present day.
From present day, I just like the idols in their camp. I just like that it's there and that they have a chance of finding it there an idol there, and people have this it's like, people are thinking in chess ways, like, "Should I go out and be with everybody else and look for things together, or should we stay in the camp and not look suspicious?" Like, it's so much more thinking and thought behind that rather than just simply, "We're just chilling. There's no idol in camp." Like, "Wanna find it? Go to Exile Island. Period. That's it." So and nobody
Yeah, that
again, no one's worried about it, because it's so hard. Everyone that's been to Exile Island's like, "Yeah, you're not gonna get it." No one's even thinking about it. Like, they're not worried because they're like, "It's so hard. How are you gonna get it?" That's why Yule is, like, kinda skating by without any worry.
yeah, I wonder if that'll change eventually, but, um, the thing with no I there's at this point, season 13, there's barely been a hint of what even is an immunity idol. So it's not currently in, like, the meta to plan for an idol, unless, of course, you're Cowboy who invented the split vote to flush an idol.
That's such a crazy thing.
Uh,
Like, I wonder if that would bring him back, like, the fact that he is just creating new, ways to play brings him back in the future, you know?
maybe. Um, I think that's all the things that I found interesting from the recap episode.
Yeah, it was good. I like feel like they should add more fun things added in. But yeah, it's all right. Hopefully, don't do this again next season. Okay.
Well,
You're like
I'll
about
let us
that.
I'll let us discover that on our own. Now we move on to episode 8, which was called "Why Aren't You Swimming?" And
Why aren't you swimming?
so if you recall, at the end of last real episode, episode 6, Nate was kidnapped from his tribe, making him safe from the vote, and now he's with the other tribe with Aitutaki. Aitu. Um,
Right.
so
Yes.
we joined them all in the aftermath of like they're back at their camp, and they're saying hi to Nate. They're actually asking him a lot of questions on like how is their camp and what are your skills. I did hear someone ask if he's a good swimmer. Uh,
Which is so funny.
yeah, that kind of will play. I don't know. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have changed anything, but if I was curious, like Nate tells us in confessional, he's trying to not really give any useful information over, while at the same time listening to everything around him, and so he can bring back useful information to his tribe.
Mhm.
And really, what happens in that, in addition to talking to Nate, is that Flicka is trying to ask people why she wasn't included in the vote for Cowboy, and this doesn't go over well. It's not as bad as Christina when she was trying to ask similar questions, but she's unable to really get anyone new on her side after this.
Yeah, it's just a weird it's weird to kind of face this after Tribal. I guess I don't even know I don't even know because I feel like I get it. You feel betrayed. It's like she's like, I would rather be on like know what's going on, and it's like, okay. However, you don't have a great track record as previously they did tell you to be on their side and you don't know what you're doing and you ended up, you know, you weren't like that, no matter if everybody was on that person's side, you're, like, still kinda, like, unsure what to do, so, I don't know, it's kinda like either or. I feel like it's awkward, but Jessica kinda just let it be.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, she's allowed things to escalate this far for her in a bad way, where now she has no strategic allies and maybe one generic ally in Ozzy, and Cowboy was one of those people. And it makes me think back. The main thing she was involved with was when Becky was in danger, and Jonathan was really trying to get her to vote against Cecilia instead, and she was caught off guard by that.
Mhm.
She didn't know what she wanted to do, but in the end, she does align herself with Jonathan and company. But the thing is, it has not turned out that she's been included as a member of the supposed five-person alliance that was supposed to be born of that vote. And that could be in part
No.
because of how hesitant she was. Like, she didn't come across as someone who was interested in working with them.
Mhm, mhm.
She did vote with them that time, but maybe she would have been better off sticking with everybody else.
I agree. I think the fact that she hesitated last time it just kind of it's not good, I feel like her hesitating doesn't give people the feelings of being a strong group of 5. How can I trust you when you can't even do this, So that makes it hard to work with, because she is not as easy to quote unquote manipulate per Jonathan says. Just a Sicka oh, Flicka? Flicka. Flicka has her own like mindset, but at the same time she doesn't. She doesn't have like much plan. It's just at that time it was like, I don't want to vote this, but I don't know what I wanna do either, which is like, okay, well, if you don't have a plan, just stick with the other plan, Don't go against, like, out there being like, "No, I don't wanna do that." It just makes it weird. And actually later on we see, like, I don't know, I feel like Flicka doesn't have much of good relationships with anybody in the team, but, like, she and Candice has a little thing later on, which I'm like, "Oh, I did not even see that coming." I think I was like, "Did I miss on that?"
And what was that when what were they talking about?
I don't know when it happened, but I know it was when, like, Ozzy came up to them and chatted about, like, what's going on. I think this was later on the episode, but Ozzy being like, "Hey," basically like, "Hey, I'm bringing all the food, food is gonna be tough to get," and, like, he wants to work with these 2 and saying that Flicka and Candice are the strongest gals.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it's interesting where everyone sits right now because we talked about that a couple episodes ago. Becky is saved, they vote for Cecilia instead, and it could have started this five-person alliance of Yul and Becky, Jonathan and Candice, and Flicka. But we just talked about Flicka didn't really gain anyone's trust with that, and as the days went on, Jonathan himself, has lost trust in many people. For whatever reason, he comes across as maybe maybe it's just because he speaks so well and he talks like someone who's would be smart and strategic, and so he might not be part of this. That leaves Yul, Becky, and Candice, who do talk in this episode, like, near the beginning, and they're trying to figure out the vote order going forward, and they're choosing between Ozzy, Flicka, and Jonathan. Um, and funny enough, they actually speak as if Ozzy, well, actually, they say Jonathan is, like, at the top of that. Um, I question it because I know, like, every time we hear about this, Yule speaks as if everyone else seems to say that he's untrustworthy, but he doesn't usually say that he finds her trustworthy. Um, but after him, they say Ozzy, and that's surprising as Ozzy is dominating on challenges and dominating in just being a provider for his current tribe, but his main issue is he also doesn't have any strategic allies right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Finds
No, he
himself being the odd person
doesn't.
out.
He doesn't. He's just like the guy that gets the food, grabs the chicken, gets the fish, gets the coconuts. And I don't think that strategically is good enough, you know? Like, he's not making really great relationships with anybody. Like, the first time we've ever just seen him have trying to make a relationship was the fact that he's talking to Candace and Flicka. And even that, like, ended faster than it started, you know?
Well, it's not the best way to go about it because you're threatening, though. You're saying, "Yeah, if I'm, voted out, sure be hard without me getting you fish."
It's a Sekou way, but at
To
least,
say way.
but at least I give Ozzy the credit that he actually puts his money where his mouth at that, because he definitely does, like, provide a lot to the team. They're eating good. Um, but yeah, you're right. This is a weird thing to say. I like kind of cringed a little bit when he said it because I'm like, are you trying to like, what are you trying to get at? Like, are you trying to say like, if I don't have you, we don't have you, like, we're gonna starve? Like, let me show you, we're gonna be okay without you.
Yeah, and, you're right, that could actually the horrible way that can backfire is, like, "I'll call your bluff. We are gonna survive without you," and then more reason to vote you out.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, that's kinda what's going on there. They both tribes get tree mail about the next reward challenge, and it's actually kinda like a pick your own adventure reward challenge where they get a survivor catalog, and they get to pick what 2 rewards they want should they win the challenge. Um, which is the first I think it's the first time we've seen something like that, so, what'd you
Yeah,
think?
I think this was my first too. I thought it was cool. I mean, I know when it happened, I was like, "What is the Survivor catalog?" I was like, "What is going on?" I like the fact that they were able to pick what they, like, could get and everything for the reward. So, I think that's cool. I want more choices, though. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of choices. I want more, if
At the very
possible.
least, we didn't seem to be shown a lot of choices because we heard
Yes.
spices, bread, potatoes,
Potatoes? Yeah,
and peanut butter.
peanut butter. And I'm like, can there be more choices?" Um, I also would want No, I think now I'm going back to current stuff. I'm always, like, referring back to current seasons because that's, like, the one that I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like um, the the Sweat or Savvy ones or
Yeah.
something like
Huh.
that. So I'm, like, always thinking back to those because that is a pick your adventure kinda thing, like, pick which one you want. So that's pretty cool, I think. I like those. Um, but I don't think they do, like, a catalog thing nowadays that I can recall. Well, I am I
Uh,
wrong?
I don't know that I don't there's not a catalog. I mean, some it's probably happened a sprinkling of times. This hasn't caught on.
Okay. I
Yeah.
wonder, are they gonna do an auction thing again? Because they did the auction when we watched the other season, and I thought that was really cool. So I hope they bring it back for this season. I think that would be really cool to watch, the
And if
Survivor
if it
auction.
happens, you can compare, like,
I
the
would be
versions that you've
excited.
seen so far.
Oh, man, the one that we watched for 7, Pearl Island, it was so disgusting. Like, the mixing of the different foods, oh, I would be sickened. I would be so unwell. I remember my stomach churning watching it, but it's like you just can't stop watching it. So hopefully they bring it back. That's pretty cool. The catalog is cool. I think it would be better if they had more stuff going on. And oh, or if everybody has to vote on it, but secretly. No one can vote on it like publicly. I don't know. And
Oh,
then it'll be like
interesting. Okay.
one person's like, I'm allergic to peanuts," and then you pick peanut butter, like, come on, I don't wanna work with you no more. How do you not know that? It's kinda like that. I don't know. But I thought it was cool that they could choose.
Yeah, so in the end, we the only drama we get from this is that, on Raro, the Blue Tribe, we get not Adam, sorry, Brad. Brad is pitching for peanut butter and potatoes and is outvoted by the remaining tribe members, which doesn't include Nate because Nate is still kidnapped, uh, for peanut butter and bread. And he's upset about this. It kinda was setting it up for that to matter more, but that part of it didn't come up. What
Yeah,
did come
no.
up, of course, was we get to the challenge, Jeff explains everything. Uh, I2 has more members, so they sit people out, including Nate himself, and I think Jeff didn't like that. I think he was excited. He wanted the spectacle of having the kidnapped member compete against their former tribe.
But why would you, you know? Like, Jeff, why would you assume that? Because why would I want some other dude, like, play this? What if he, like, throws? I don't know. I can't trust this guy. Because, I guess it makes it more dramatic in terms of, like, if he throws, then this your new adopted team is gonna hate you, and it's gonna follow you through the merge. But if you do well, then your own team is gonna hate you and don't want that. So I guess I see why in a producer show standpoint, it makes sense that you want that. He should have forced them to do that, they should have been like, "The kidnapped person will definitely have to participate into the challenge." So they don't have to pick that. Because again, if you're allowing people to pick, why would they pick Nate? I wouldn't pick Nate. I don't trust you. I feel like you're just going to throw the game. So I think if they wanted it in a producer standpoint, they should have said yesterday, this person that you're going to pick is going to be a part of the reward challenge.
I agree, he didn't get to stay for the award, so, I mean, doubly not worth it if I'm
Hmm.
gonna compete for my tribe and then not get a reward we win, they're terrible,
Yeah, it's
right?
losing situation for Nate
Unless it's
and the
like
person.
you hate your own tribe and you're, like, trying to, like, try to get on the good side of the other tribe. Since this is a reward challenge, so it's not immunity yet.
That's true, but also it's like, if I hate my tribe, I'm not gonna be outwardly hating them either. That's not smart. I'm gonna be scared when I come back for immunity. I just, I don't know.
Jeff
Bad,
Jeff
bad.
Jeff lives for the not smart things to be done. That's the
That's
best type of
true.
candidate.
He's holding on for people to be, like, putting out, like, bad ideas, but it's like, "No, Jeff, if you want them to do this, you should just say, you're the boss," no one's gonna be like, "Oh, I don't wanna listen to you because 'cause you're the game master." You're the rule maker. You could break rules, you could create rules, you could make things to tell me, everyone would be down. So, you gotta make that as your thing. But they sent him away, and and everyone this challenge was kind of cool and very like it was simple but very exhausting.
Yeah, this is a water challenge. It's called Smash and Grab, and the you got 3 people from your tribe are gonna swim out pretty it looked pretty far to a platform and bring with them this club. They gotta climb up to the top of the platform, and they're gonna run and jump and hit, uh, this 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 item that knocks a key out. That part of it, the jump and smash, we've seen that all the time. That's a very common aspect of a challenge. But, the way this is organized is cool because then you need to you had to exhaust yourself swimming up there, climb it, run and jump, swing to hit it. You're gonna land in the water. The key's gonna land in the water. You gotta hope you can find that key and then swim all the way back to shore with the key, and then the next person goes. And do that 6 times.
So exhausting. That's so exhausting to me. But it's I really like the idea of, like, they have to hit it, and they have to find the key too. It's not like they hit and run and swim, and they have to hit it, find it, swim back, and Ozzy, man, he deserves his name Poseidon. He is like a fish in there. He is so good. He swims like he belongs he's like part dolphin. It's incredible.
Yeah, if you weren't, convinced of his water challenge dominance yet, when this episode put it on display for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, poor Rebecca suffered on the going there, getting up, and she hit the thing and couldn't find the key. It was rough. I felt bad for Rebecca. She felt and it's crazy because during that time, like, you see Nate being looking at Brad and being like, "Why aren't you out there swimming?" And Brad's like, "I'm good at puzzles, you know. God, you got good at puzzles." And, it's just kinda rough to watch, you know?
You know, that's an interesting situation where so, like, nowadays, like, being a puzzle beast, definitely valued, but the ones we've seen over the years, think Christian in season 37, they also look like someone who would not be good at other aspects of a challenge. So it
Yes.
ends up being a natural pick to put them on the puzzle regardless. But when your puzzle beast also looks like a physical challenge beast too, now what to do? That's a complicated dilemma in a time I think that was not ready for this type of complicated dilemma back in '06.
Yeah, that's true. I never even thought of it like that, Will. That's a great observation. You're right, because Brad is the classic, like, big buff dude that is a quote unquote great swimmer, per date. So the fact that he was so adamant too. He was like, I'll do the puzzle. Like it was multiple cuts of him saying that. And it was just rough because you see like Rebecca struggling. So Parvati and um who was the other guy? Someone else did it. Was it
Oh, it was probably Adam, right?
Adam?
Yeah.
Adam, yeah. Adam and Parvati taking turns going. Meanwhile, the other team had
Well,
Yule,
the other team
Candice,
had Ozzy.
and
That's what it comes down to.
Ozzy. That's true. That's
No
true.
matter all the any other scenario, Ozzy probably could have gone
Ozzy
5 times back to back if he
oh my
so
gosh,
wished.
yeah. Ozzy would have beat all of them up, like, just by himself. He doesn't need no break. The water's afraid of him. He's not afraid of water.
Uh, Speaking of Adam, so they lose and, Adam is sent to Exile Island. Again, this is this is what you said where there's a big storm and,
He's being
presume
pelted by water.
yeah, so we don't get to see the details, but that must be scary because, like, on at camp, you're still on an island, so it's not enjoyable, but you are, like, near the trees. So I feel like what you're looking at isn't just the storm coming. But on Exile Island, like it's flat. So your view is out to sea of the whole storm and everything happening around it.
That is scary. And the fact that he doesn't you don't have anything because when you're back on your tribe, you have everybody kinda, splitting out, like, what they're gonna do, so you don't have to use so much energy expenditure to, like, get things, you know, as you might be getting food, but someone else is getting the shelter, you know, versus when you're in Exile Island, you're on your own, so what are you gonna use for your the amount of energy you have left. Are you gonna start digging for this idol, or are you gonna build a fire? How about a shelter for this rain? Or what are we doing? And I can't even imagine like how dark is it gonna be with no if they he didn't build a fire. It's just darkness and rain. And I that is scary. That is very scary. I've been to a beach where there's no light and stuff, and you're just seeing like darkness, where it starts, where it ends. I cannot imagine being in that. Oh, that's so scary to me.
Yeah,
As
basically
someone that does not like the sea, man.
just waiting for the sun to rise. And also, if it's my first time there, like, how far does high tide go? How do I know I'm not where the water's gonna come? I'm asleep.
Oh. Oh, that's scary. That's very scary. Oh, man. That's a big fear unlock. Because I remember, this interview, Rachel, the winner of 46, was like, "It's a lot darker than
47.
you think," 47, sorry, and she's like, "It's a lot darker than you think it is, you don't see anything." Because when we see those, like, night vision cameras, like, we see, and it seems like it's not that dark, like, how dark can it be? But it's because the camera is good, um, not because that they can see. So just the thought of it being darkness, you don't know what you're doing, or something crawling on your leg, that would make me crash out. Like, please don't put me in Exile Island, I'm begging, please.
That's fine, just win. If you win, you don't gotta worry about
My
it.
idea my thing is that also, how are people deciding it? Because I feel like everybody every time they decide, they're just no. They're just like, "Adam's going." I'm just like, "Wait, what? Really?" I'm like, I'm a little behind on it. Do they take the people that are the strongest they believe is out? Or so they, like,
Well,
lack communication with other people?
I
Or
imagine there's a bunch of reasons you could do it. For them to answer so quickly, most likely means they just talked about it before the chat, like, before they even like,
Mm,
I got so much downtime at camp, nothing better to talk about, especially when it happens after every reward challenge and or immunity challenge.
mm.
So you're right. One reason would be send someone who is strong so that they starve a little bit, get weakened. It's right, like, because this is at after the reward challenge, so the hope in that case would be to weaken them to the upcoming immunity challenge. So that's one reason. You could send someone who you want to be able to find the immunity idol. That might be another reason. You could send someone who's already been there to limit the amount of new people
Oh.
going there.
But then that person might be able to go there though. Like, no, they go there
Yeah,
again, they know
true.
where to go because they don't move the idol or anything.
You could also send,
Mm.
like, an ally or an enemy to
Yeah, see,
exile.
this is too 5 brain
Mhm.
for me.
Right?
Now
Like,
I'm like, "Wait, what is
there's a lot
going
of
on now?"
potentials, but so this would be, this is at risk of just making up stories, but if I was trying to analyze edit, for us to not hear a conversation would mean that whatever their reasoning isn't important for the story.
Okay. That's fair, that's fair. I could respect that.
Uh,
Just they need to
this
take
is
this out. No more Exile Island, please.
Yeah, yeah. So as the episode gets towards its end, before the immunity challenge, we see just living life at camp, and then suddenly like, hey guys, it's Ozzy, and it turns out that Ozzy has just caught a bird
Yeah.
somehow.
I don't even know how he
Mm.
does that. He just comes back nonchalantly, and I feel like Jonathan had, like, this out of body experience of, like, "What is happening right now?" He's like, "Good morning to you too, like, what's happening?" Everyone's like, "I don't wanna touch it, I don't wanna kill it," Ozzy's just holding it on, looking at everybody, staring them down until someone says yes, and we got Yule volunteering to do it. Man, that's a crazy. Like, this guy and then you see him bopping on a coconut tree and then just kicking the coconuts down, and it made me think of playing Peak because 'cause I've been playing a video game called Peak, and where you do climb coconut trees and take down coconuts on the floor. So then that's all I was thinking about when he did that. I'm like, "Dude, he would be crazy at Peak in real life. He'll climb everywhere."
Yeah, so clearly a developing storyline is how valuable is being a provider in Survivor because we're seeing like a like S tier provider right now in Ozzy.
Oh, yeah.
But we're also
I
seeing
uh,
I mean, he's pretty weak in the other 2 areas, which is strategy and social game. So, we'll see
I
how that,
don't see
develops.
yeah, I just don't see being a provider. Maybe being a provider is great in the beginning, and we'll take him to maybe, like, mm, either, like, right before the merge or right after, but after that, I don't see him getting far. I don't see if his social game isn't that great, I just don't see him getting super far at all, and being a provider isn't a reason for the juries to pick him. Um, I feel like that's not I don't think that's count as the outwit or outsmart at all, unless you're talking about outwitting the fishes in the sea and the chickens on land, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I respectfully, it's really cool that he's doing this, and, it is very much needed, especially when you're starving in an island, but I don't see it as a $1,000,000 winner pick.
Know what he's missing? It feels like he's missing like, there's 3 people that all go out to get food and catch fish, and so, like, while doing that, the 3 of those people bond with each other. They might have similar feelings of resentment, like, "Man, I catch this, but I only get to have an eighth of it." And so that would build a bond between them. But right now, it's only him doing it, so he doesn't know he's hanging out with nobody.
Yeah, that's the thing. His team is like just him. And I mean, they're all very appreciative of it. And I feel like he likes the fact that he's like, appreciated and doing this. But at the same time, it's like, you're not building much relationships here.
No, no. But we'll see if it matters because we go to the immunity challenge, which was called Stairway to Heaven. And this is
Oh,
when
okay. I
they all
see.
have
I
to
see.
grab these big poles that have, like, kind of a they actually look like from the other challenge when they were holding these posts in the water. That's what they look like to me. But there's a lot of them. There's, like, a dozen, and they're all different heights. So you need to pick up these as a tribe, pick up these posts and arrange them in the slots in the ground in height order from shortest to tallest. And if you can do all that in the correct order, then you use that as stairs, run up it where you'll get to a huge zip line, and you're gonna zip line way out into the water where you're gonna grab puzzle pieces and then swim all the way back. Uh, and if you do that 3 times, then everybody climbs up the ladder and, 3 of the people solve a puzzle. So, it's actually like it is arranged like a present day challenge, but with very prominent set pieces of these huge stairs. We have to climb all of them, and the zip line and the swimming.
That was pretty cool. I like the fact that I love the zip line thing because I was thinking in my mind that if I had to grab this and hold on the entire time, I would let go so fast. I was not a monkey bars type of girl in the playground. I was in the swing set, swinging on my own. So the idea of holding on to the zip line thing and having to hold on until the very end is pretty daunting. I like it though. It was very cool. I don't feel like I see much of that. And the stepping upwards was, it's alright. It was fine. It wasn't, like, anything out of this world, but it was still cool to see. Um, seeing them the way they ziplined, like Nate doing it was just so funny. Like, there was a camera angle where you see, like, Nate, like, literally legs open, his face between into that area, and then it's just determination in his face, and the camera pans to it. It had me cracking up. I was dying. It was so good.
Well, this is what you gotta do when Ozzy is on the other side going crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm. That's
So you would,
true.
like,
He has
throw
something
the
to fight
puzzle
for.
pieces in front of him and then, like, zoom under the water until wherever he threw it.
Yeah, yeah, he was like, as Jeff said, a dolphin in water. And honestly, any water challenges, I feel like nowadays, like, maybe they just put in the water challenge just for Ozzy. They're like, "Look, the next one's gonna be like, climb a coconut tree, catch a fish, and catch a chicken. You're done. You get immunity."
Yeah, that being said, despite Ozzy's dominance, the, I2 actually is unable to figure out the puzzle, which allows Raro to make up time and uh actually get it. It seemed like Jenny was driving that, and a win for Raro, which sends I2 uh back to tribal council.
I know, it's crazy. I They was so, like they were so ahead, but man, I felt like for the puzzlers, Flicka I think it was Flicka and also, was it Flicka
It was the
and
girls, right?
Sundra? I
So
think Sundra. Flicka, Sundra, and
everyone but
Becky.
Candice. All the
Yeah,
girls but
and then
Candice.
yeah, they I don't know, I felt like Sundra and Flicka was just kinda, like, there, and then there is, like, Jenny trying to or no, not Je sorry, Becky trying to work it out, but Jenny was, like she was on it. The other tribe was, like, in it. They were ready to rock this game, so I felt like, ugh, it was, I mean, it's always nice to see, like, another tribe, like, catch up and win, but dang, it's tough, I just feel like Ozzy the swimmers are, like, dying in the inside, you know?
Yeah, well, even Jonathan, who sat out, so he's just, like, watching from the ground level.
Yeah, Jonathan, who people deem cannot be trusted.
Yeah, so that's the talk after the challenge, so it's either target the untrustworthy Jonathan, or and it sounded like it would have been Ozzy, but people have kinda changed their mind on that, and they're more thinking Flicka is the alternative, and, uh, in this episode, they don't give us a clear answer, but here's my theory. So I think the editing decision here is we are like Flicka. So Flicka goes to try to talk to, mostly everybody and like, find out who they wanna vote for with the hopes of being like, "Okay, great, I'll do that too." Or if not, then at least try to persuade them to vote for who she's gonna vote for, Jonathan, and nobody she talks to gives her a straight answer. So I think us, the audience, also going to the tribal, we feel like we don't have a straight answer either, and therefore don't know what's gonna happen at that tribal council.
The crazy part is, like, Flicka goes on to this talk of, like, thanking everybody for being open and talking about it. I'm like, "What? What did I miss?" Like, no one's being open at all. Like, is the openness in the room with us right now? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, and that's probably the giveaway that it's probably gonna be Flicka. Even though it's unclear, but no one can tell her anything one way or the other. That's crimson red flags.
That's true, that's true. I think in a current thing, that would be the day moment where she throws in a shot in the dark, that would be it. So, I feel like in current thing I'm thinking about, like, current seasons, someone would be like, "No, we're not talking about you, we're taking someone else," but in this season, it's just like, just no talk, just no discussion, this is it, boom. There's no way you could change my mind now.
Right, and really, like, there's no downs in the pre-merge, there's kinda no downside to just straight up being like, "Yep, it's you," because
Yeah.
there's not unless you especially if they have not been to Exile Island, because then they can't have the idol, and there's no shot in the dark, and there's no idols at the beach, so the only thing that could happen is like a twist, and to be fair, it happened last vote. Something changes at tribal, which was like Nate got kidnapped. So if Nate had been the target, suddenly everything has to like turn on its head. And then if you were mean to Nate, then he's still in the game. So if there is that like small percent chance something like that could happen, but
Mhm.
otherwise, there's kind of no downside to saying it. Now in the post merge, there is a downside because then they're on the jury. So
Yeah,
that changes how you're gonna do things.
that's true, that's true. I feel bad for Flicka because I feel like she's been having I still feel like her, Ozzy, and so is, like, Candice in a way. I don't see them having at least within their current tribe, okay? Like, I'm not talking about their original tribe, but their current tribe. They don't have a really strong footing or standing. Like, Candice kinda, like, comes and goes with Jonathan, but not really. But I'm surprised that no one's ever put the flame onto Yule. Like, I even though, I love Yule, Yule is on my team right now, but I'm surprised no one's always talk about him. He's also a great swimmer. He is a great, like, very great challenge person. I mean, look at him, you know? So I'm just shocked no one's ever put him out there. Maybe he has like a really good, better social game than I thought. Because right now his best social game is Becky. I guess Jonathan a couple episodes ago.
Well, I guess this is the benefits of having any kind of alliance. So he has a real alliance with Becky, and then a shaky alliance with the combination of Jonathan and Candice. And Sandra helped them that one time.
Mhm.
Um, and so the members of that alliance are unlikely to decide to target him. And then because he seems like an outgoing guy that if he's if he likes you, like, it's gonna show publicly. So if you're Flicka and you're worried it's gonna be you and you need to give someone a name they'd likely to go against, she's probably seen, uh, Candice and You'll be friendly, so he's probably like, "Candice probably won't agree to vote on Yule, she likes Yule, but let me pick somebody who she probably doesn't trust, doesn't like, I'll pick Jonathan
Mhm.
and go with that." I think what really her best shot, she needed to realize that the the 2 people that were likely to be chosen was Ozzy and just turn on her own ally. That's probably, like, because it was either that or Jonathan, and clearly going for Jonathan didn't work.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but it's tough because like, she's the only one Ozzy's the only one she's been gelling with, it seems like, that's left, so, uh, it's it's a tough situation. Now the question I have for you is, this was a unanimous vote against Flicka.
Mhm.
But is there anything to how people are feeling that Jonathan is, untrustworthy? Not specifically about the untrustworthy part, but just, like, you feel that way, so maybe you should get him out now before weird things happen in the merge, compared to Flicka, who I think someone did say, like, she's like, a comment like, "Oh, she's chaotic," almost, like, saying annoying. So,
Mhm.
that type of
Hard to
person
control, I feel like they
hard to
more so
control, let's say
mention,
that,
you know?
so but maybe not a strategic threat in the game and not a physical threat in the game.
Mhm. But you would worry about her in the merge more because she's so chaotic. Now you don't know what she's thinking, you don't know what's going on. I think that scares people more than someone that's like, I feel like if they think Jonathan is manipulative or sneaky and stuff, I think you would assume another person would also see that and take him out so quick, you know? So I actually would think it's the opposite, that he's not a threat merge wise because it's like you're so obviously such a snake, quote unquote, like that person, versus Flicka is too chaotic, where she sometimes like, even I feel like when we're watching it, I'm like, I don't know where Flicka's at, Sometimes she's, like, super into the team, sometimes she's kind of withdrawn, sometimes I'm a little confused on where she's at. So I think as socially, it's hard to work with Flicka and hard to trust Flicka that she will work with you in the future and not during the merge twist on you and say something else and don't make any sense, if that makes much of a sense.
Gotcha, no, that does a good perspectives. We'll see, of course, if that works out or if Jonathan just, like, crushes everybody and they all regret the day
I know, right, that
they
they keep it. I mean, we're still far from merge, no? Like, there's still a lot of people.
at least at this time period, with 12 people left, this was not usually when the merge happens. Now, of course,
Okay.
for all you know, this is, like, the first time it did happen at 12.
Mhm. Okay. 'Cause
Um,
there's still time. I mean, that I feel like right now, Yule, Becky is put in a good position where they can play around with who to work with, and I'm honestly surprised that Yule and Ozzy are not working with one another. Like, I don't know, like, how has that not even crossed their minds? But it hasn't happened yet. And I wonder if their paths will ever align with one another, or that they work together. I'm just, like, confused. Why don't they work together?
yeah, what I'm waiting for is, like, it helps when you have, like, back-to-back episodes where I2 was, like, a big focus, but on
Mhm.
Raro, there's there's very little, like, that seems to be developing between anybody. Like, there was tension in this episode between Nate and Brad, and a couple other people spoke out about it too. I think Parvati as well. We had the tease from a couple episodes ago. Parvati wants to manipulate all the guys, though that really hasn't gone to anything other than she herself hasn't been a target. And nothing. I mean, they're just there for now.
That's true. I mean, I still have yet to see what Parvati's doing with her web. Like, oh yeah, that's actually one of the deleted scenes they're talking about Parvati, about how like, she's I don't know, it's kind of weird to talk about though, because their guys are just like there's not I mean she even mentions like there's no music, there's nothing to really see. I mean, she's like quote unquote their entertainer in a way, you know? But I'm like, but Parvati, that's really cool. I love that. But when are you gonna use those to your advantage? Because right now it feels like there's nothing really.
Right,
And
and
actually,
when does it become a annoyance to other people too? Like, what
that's
if you're like, "Oh,
true.
what a floozy, like, who does she think she is?"
I wonder if that ever causes any like discourse with the other girls too, where it's like, oh, she's just getting like she's not getting she's winning or not being put under the fire of being voted out because she's pretty, because she's like young and cute and happy, like innocent as I think is what someone said
Mhm.
described her as. And I'm like, I wonder if this is gonna be true or because it gets cut out and put in a deleted scene, it's not gonna be true. Like, it's not relevant. Like, she may say that she's got all this stuff, but in the end, it's not relevant.
Yeah, maybe. It's, hard to say, but I think that's why Survivor F always wants to do the look ahead.
Yeah, yeah, your future
My look my
focus.
future focus, that's right. So my future focus is on really Raro and, like, what storylines are gonna we haven't developed storylines for a while. It's the last 2 Raro storylines where who do we hate today? At first, it was JP, and then it was Christina. But those aren't, like, season-long storylines. Whereas, like, we had so much to talk about in I2. So, that's what I'm thinking about.
Okay. I'll throw in a little future focus very future focus is the merge of what happens with Candice and Adam. Like, are they gonna be back together, obviously, to other people, or being like, "No," but working together undercover? Because that would be big brain. That would be very cool because they have that power, although I feel like Adam is just not great, like, socially. Like, no one likes him. No one's
No,
gonna
no.
like him. He just kinda
Um,
sucks. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie, I wouldn't wanna work with him.
but maybe Candace will
He
like
also has
him.
a maniacal smile. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, Adam. If you're listening, I'm so sorry. You have a smile that gives me villainous vibes, and I can't trust you.
Yeah,
Candace, on the other hand, she's got a nice smile.
that's a good that's a good, look ahead because, I mean, it's been a while. I think it's about 12 days now since they've been on the same tribe because that was episode 3 that everything got swapped around.
Yeah, very soon for that to happen. So it could be like, "Oh, that was you were just warmth to me, and now we're nothing." Or it's
Oh,
like,
no.
"Oh, we are something. We are something, and let's work together and, secret." And I think that would be really cool.
Is there
I'm all for more alliances, more working together.
Yeah, because remember that storyline? "Oh, why did they send you to exile, Candace? Are they trying to
Yes,
protect
it's like,
you?"
I don't know. I don't know. She's just like, I have no idea. And it's just kind of funny. It's just funny how I, I think it's both ways funny how they were asking her and expecting her to like answer in a right way. Like would I like why would you think I would say like, "Oh yeah, they really like me. I just think they were just trying to protect me." No, they won't say she won't say that. Of course you say, I'm not sure, but that's a great beats me.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
question.
Uh, so those are our 2 episodes, a rare, recap episode and then an actual episode. So we've
Yeah.
gone from 20 people down to 12 because you remember this is a big, big season,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
we're making our way there. Do you have any room in your heart to see a Flicka ever again?
Ah, I genuinely I don't think so. It's gonna be a nar for me just because Flicka, I feel like just isn't it wasn't didn't show me anything. No progress was shown. I feel like she was the same Flicka from day one till now. So it ain't it for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I tend to agree. Like, because sometimes the storyline is they don't care, their head's not in the game, but then like something happens. Maybe like their close ally is voted out, and then from then on, they're a major character. But
Mhm,
we didn't see
mhm.
that at all.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
With that, we are done with episode 7 and 8. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And next time we will be discussing episodes 9 and 10. And I'm going to put a little tease. These episodes are ones you don't want to miss. Audience out
Oh,
there, if you know, you know.
what?
But
I'm
until
so
then,
excited.
and until we speak again, ciao.